Hello, you're very welcome to Destination Newry's News Bite here on a Thursday evening. The coronavirus update. Two people have died in the last 24 hours in Northern Ireland, bringing the total deaths to 518. While in the south, no one has died in the last 24 hours, so their figure sits at yesterday's total 1,615. The total number of people dead in the island of Ireland is 2,133. 377 people have died from coronavirus across the UK. The total number of deaths in the UK at the moment are 37,837. Scotland Public Health says that 2,316 deaths due to COVID-19. Nicola Sturgeon says it is now time to move to phase one of easing lockdown restrictions. From Friday, people can meet with other households outdoors, recommending gatherings of no more than 8 people. Also on Friday, people will be allowed to sunbathe and relax in places like the park while they are social distancing. Non-contact sports like golf, tennis and bowling will be allowed for the first time in more than 8 weeks as part of the changes. In Wales, there have now been a total of 2,007 deaths involving coronavirus in Wales according to the latest figures from the Office of National Statistics. The figures include deaths coming up to the 15th of May. Lockdown restrictions in Wales are likely to be relaxed next week so people from two different households can meet each other outdoors. There are 518 confirmed cases in Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon out of a population of 2014. And sorry, I don't have the Newry Morn ones. In the Republic, as they said, there was no new COVID-19 linked deaths in the Republic of Ireland in the last 24 hours. In the same period, there were 59 confirmed cases of the virus. The Republic has had 1,606 COVID-19 linked deaths, 24,698 confirmed cases. Ireland's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Tony Holohan, said the Republic has suppressed COVID-19 as a country. It has taken strict measures to achieve this, he has said. Outdoor weddings with 10 people present may be allowed in Northern Ireland from the 8th of June, the Executive has agreed. Large retailers such as car showrooms and shops in retail parks will also be allowed to reopen, Minister said, having met to review the lockdown rules. First Minister Arlene Foster said the Executive would confirm these changes after it meets on the 4th of June. Ministers want to ensure that the R number remains below 1 before lifting restrictions further. Some measures have already been eased by ministers as part of the 5-step recovery plan. But Stormont leaders stressed they will only move slowly in order to monitor the R number, the average number of people that one coronavirus infected person will pass the virus on to. It is still below 1, but it's not far away from 1, warned the First Minister. Although Mrs Foster said she understood how important it was for everyone to see as much gradual process towards normality as possible. She said a decision on whether to allow people to visit relatives indoors had again been deferred. The latest announcement by the Executive means Northern Ireland could move into some paths of Step 2 if it's on its pathway to recovery. The decisions agreed by the Executive today will provisionally start from the 8th of June. And, as I said, small weddings and civic partnership ceremonies permitted outdoors with no more than 10 people present. Outdoor sports courts, horse training and dog groomers can reopen. Hotels will be able to take advance bookings for when they can reopen again. And large non-food retailers can reopen, including car showrooms, electrical shops and phone shops. Other news. Prominent peace campaigner Eugene Reevy from Whitecross is set to sue Google and Facebook after false claims were posted about him online. The South Armagh man, who is chairman of the Peaceful Future South Armagh, is well known for his reconciliation work. Legal action was launched after an anonymous blog linked Mr Reevy to a gun attack on a minibus at Kingsmill in South Armagh, which claimed the lives of 10 Protestant workmen in 1976. The article has now been removed. The content of the blog has been referred or referenced on Facebook page. Solicitors acting for Mr Reevy recently wrote to both internet giants demanding the removal of the material. The Premier League to restart on the 17th of June with Man City versus Arsenal and Villa versus Sheffield United. The Premier League season is set to restart on the 17th of June with both Aston Villa, Sheffield United, Manchester City and Arsenal, the BBC has said. These matches are the two games that are in hand. A full fixture list will then be played on the weekend of the 19th to the 21st of June. Clubs are still discussing the idea of a meeting today, but it is understood all have agreed in principle at this stage. There are 92 fixtures still to play. The Premier League was suspended on 13th of March because of the pandemic, and it will be 100 days after Leicester City's 4-0 win over Aston Villa on the 9th of March that the competition will resume, with games now played behind closed doors. Well, as normal, we now go to our community activists, and tonight I'm delighted to welcome again two people. We've had them on here before, and I think we're going to Carla. And Carla, so great to have you here. And of course, you're down there in Ballinacraig, the bottom end of Newry, which takes in that whole end up, as I would say, if you're going down towards the Warrenpoint Road, up to the left-hand side. So Carla, you have a lot to talk about. You have a lot of pictures, so it's all up to you.
Thanks very much, Damien. Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank again Destination Newry for having us again this week. There was a great buzz last week, so everybody hearing about the community and what was going on. So a few wee things for us tonight, a few things that are happening. I'd like to shout out, first of all, to the two people who have been working with other community associations. One of them is Noreen Rice and the other one is Potty Hart. This week I've been working very close with them in organising different things and taking advice from Potty himself. I think it's great to have that buzz with different community associations, and that link is great, so thanks very much to those two. Park Esler has asked me to give a wee shout out and to say thanks very much for listening last week, that there's been no one going in now to use the facilities at all, and we can see that they have their new signs up thanking the frontline workers. They've 4 of those up, and we're very proud of them along the old Warrenpoint Road. You can see them when you're passing Park Esler. Last week we spoke about dog fouling, and just want to say there's a great improvement in that. We'll not talk too much about that. Food parcels are still being delivered in the area, and to date we have 73 being delivered around the Ballinacraig area. But we'd just like to reiterate that is an ongoing basis. So if anyone has found themselves struggling, if they give us a wee shout, either a community worker or to the Facebook page, we can give you a wee handout with whatever you need, whether it's fuel, gas, electric, or food parcels, or even just to pass you on different advice. Just private mail the page, there's no problem. Which we're continuing to give out food vouchers for the point side. It's along the Warrenpoint Road, and it's also for fuel, gas, fresh and frozen fruit. We were donated that last week, so if anyone's stuck in that way at all, if they could please let us know. There's no problem, and once again, it's all confidential. The kids are also enjoying planting their seeds. We've had plenty of pictures coming into the page, and they're really enjoying planting them, and they're going to be watching them growing. And just to remind the parents, if they could send us photographs when the seeds start to grow, and to remind them that there's a prize for whoever grows the biggest seed. So keep the photographs coming, folks. And we also wanted to let out to everybody know tonight that there's a new competition running, and we're offering kids the chance to make up their own poem regarding the coronavirus. And if they just write a small poem, 3, 4, 5 lines, send it into the page, we're going to have one of the older community members judge it. And maybe if Damien had let me, we'll read it out on Destination Newry some night. So if you start posting in your poems in the next week or two, then we'll decide the winner in about 4 or 5 weeks. And yesterday we got actually a bit of fantastic news, which we'll have to tonight, to reveal that we have received funding from the House Executive, and we've 4 different things planned. I'm just going to let you know a few things about that. We have, first of all, we're going to organise a pamper pack, which is for parents and the children of the house, and it's going to be like toiletries, things for girly nights in, facials. The next one is for a baby pack, and will be for people who have just had babies, or maybe children under 1, and that will include baby wipes, nappy bags, baby baths, and nappies. Also in that there's a different pack, and it's the education pack, and it's for people who are struggling to buy ink for their computers and their printers, or even if you need paper, pens, highlighters, whatever you need, we can organise that. And the other part of it is an essential pack, and it is for toiletry needs and products that both men and women would use. So we're just delighted with that news. But if you keep a close eye on the page, or even if you tune in next week, we'll have more updates about that. We want to shout out as well to Flagstaff Court, who had their weekly bingo last night, and we believe that there was over 30 people taking part in it. And a great vibe. It lasted from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and there was great prizes and a great buzz about the place. So next week we're going to have the same either bingo or quiz, and it's getting all the community together while social distancing in our gardens. We have 2 birthdays this week. The first birthday is Jim Havern. Jim is a tenant here on the Warm Point Road. Jim, hope you enjoyed your day with Dara and the 2 kids and made the most of it. We also have another birthday, which is Anne. And Anne also lives in the area. Anne, we hope you had a very, very happy birthday. And just one more thing. We have nominated a person of the week this week. And we feel we've come together as a committee and we've decided that Adele Heaney should get a bit of recognition. Adele also lives in the Ballinacraig area, and she's been a fantastic girl. Adele gives up her time, hours, days, whenever she's needed, she'll help out. She travels to Belfast every Friday night, to Dublin, and helps out every night, gives out food to people. She's made rapport with people in Dublin, and the kids, the families, are all waiting for her to come up, and we know that she misses them desperate. So hopefully, Adele, you'll be back up that road feeding them. She also helped us numerous times with people moving into their new homes and didn't have much. And we only had to pick up the phone, and she was only a phone call away. So Adele, you're a superstar in our eyes. Well done. Damien, that's about all we have for you this week.
Carla, well done to Adele. A brilliant bit of work there from her. I have to say, I'm very proud of the housing executive for the great work that they're doing during this whole pandemic. I work for them. I work in a different department than obviously the one you're dealing with, but I know that they are doing great work, and they're doing great work behind the scenes as well. So I'll take my hat off to the housing executive. Fair play to them. And even we heard last night from Restraver about the trees being planted as well. So the housing executive are doing great work at the minute. But so is yourself, Carla, and your team, and thanks a million. It's great, and I look forward to you reading out the winning poem from the young ones. It will be really, really good, and I think it's great to have them all involved in this. So good luck with that, and we'll do this all again next week. So thanks a million, Carla.
Thanks.
Yeah, and now we're going to go we're going to go across the water and just bounce across to Jerry Kyle. Jerry, you're very welcome again on a Thursday evening.
Good evening,
Jerry.
Dame.
You have a lot to talk about.
I was wondering when you said there across the water, I probably thought that you thought I was in England or somewhere. You mean the canal? I'm assuming that's what it is.
Oh, yes. Across the Ballinacraig. Yes, just a hop, skip and jump. So, Jerry, okay. It's all up to you now. You take it away there.
First of all, Damien, again, my thanks to you and Cal for inviting me back on here this week again. And I watch every show every night. It's absolutely fantastic. It gives community workers and ours a voice and to showcase what's getting done in their communities and the fantastic community spirit. And just listening to Carla was excellent. I did pick up ideas from her the night. I picked up ideas, and I say to myself sometimes, I'm seeing you more now than I am seeing my wife. It's not the season to trust me in that there, because I'm 6 days or 5 days a week or 5 evenings a week. Let's see. First of all, I want to give a big shout out and congratulations to Ernie Campbell, who recently received an award from the council in recognition of his outstanding commitment to fundraising for PPE. I'm sure everybody will agree that was thoroughly deserved. Just a brief update on what we have been doing here, not just within the committee, but in other parts of the Dromalane Quayside Close community. And it's important for me to point out once again, it's not about me, it's about our community and the fantastic work that's being done, and so many unsung heroes here and further afield, and nothing but the highest praise for them. Just as I'm saying, the update is we delivered 66 parcels to primary school children during the week there. I think it was on a Monday, and in that we included activity packs, juice, sweets, and a poster depicting support for the NHS. we asked children or their parents, shall we say, to colour those in and put them on the windows and display them. And it's fantastic that this here has happened, and full credit to the children and also the parents. We're also, there's Shane Dillon, I see. We're also continuing our involvement with the food hub in the Newry Leisure Centre. We have, as I said last week, we just have distribute food parcels every week to not just here but other communities throughout Newry. And again, full credit to Edwina, Gary, our committee members, and Noel and Mihal, our 2 volunteers. Without those people, this is unlikely to have happened. Over the next few weeks, we'll be going again with our usual parcels for the elderly and vulnerable, but this time we're going to focus more on more fruit and so-called healthy items, because I'm personally conscious of the fact that people, while they're self-isolating, particularly if it's a 12-week plus self-isolating process, that it's important that they build up their immune system while they're here, because when they go out, unfortunately, immune system could become very, very low. So we're conscious of that fact. So that's why the likes of fruit and things like that will be in these parcels next time, hopefully within the next week or two. We also will be, as I stated last week, distributing vouchers for heat, electricity and gas or whatever else is needed, but one person office bearer will be designated. I just see there Gary McKeown. He's one of the people that I on others say should be person of the week, because just before he had distribute parcels to the primary school children, Gary got his head shaved for chest, heart and stroke, and well done to him. And obviously the other person I'm going to nominate or say person of the week is, as I mentioned earlier, is Ernie Campbell for the fantastic work he's done regarding PPE, and to me they're all absolutely fantastic. As I say, there's so many more with is doing things in quietly in the background, and full praise and credit to them. Can I just move on to some future plans that we have? I'm delighted, first of all, I know this is going to be very warmly welcome, to say that our bingo will be starting up again. And it's obviously the most ideal place is the centre of Dromalane in the green area. That's why we have things there. But in saying that, it's for people in Quayside Close as well. It's not just about Dromalane. It's a centralised point, easy managed to control, and to make sure that all relevant safety and health precautions are put in place. We also have plans for line dancing, for activity and fitness outdoor projects, and this I'm sure will go down very well before the end of June at our Vice Chair Stevie's suggestion. I was going to steal the idea, but Stevie says it was his, so I'm going to give him the credit for it, is for a community karaoke, something similar to the community sing-alongs, but more focused on karaoke, and I'm sure people will agree that will be most welcome, and as usual, we like to do things different. There's also talk about a fishing club being set up. Obviously, as you alluded to, Damien, we're beside the canal, and we're saying let's take advantage of that there. There's a man, Tony McCavitt, who does excellent work on the canal, taking children up and down in his canoe, and full credit to him. So we say we'll have set up a fishing club, and it's my understanding that's permitted now, and that's hopefully in the near future. Can I just move on to church news, which is very important to say, because can I say that people here and obviously within our parish are delighted that the Church of Assumption, that's our parish church, is now opened up for private prayer, and I'm hoping that a video that Father Damien made recently to explain about the protocol that needs to be done about health and safety, what you have to do and what you can't do when you go in for that. And that's...
Hi folks, Father Damien here. I just wanted to give you a quick tour of the church now that we've introduced some changes to help us all to stay safe and pray safe from when we open on Wednesday. First thing you probably notice when you come in is that we're asking you to come in through the main door, but then to exit through the side door of the church. This is to help us keep a one-way system in the church. And as you come in, you'll see that the side aisles are all sealed off, so please don't try and enter into those parts of the church. As always, we'd ask you to use the hand sanitizer when you come in and to clean your hands using the 7-step process. There are wipes on the seats, so we're going to ask you to use them on the seats after you leave and to dispose of them in the bin. A reminder to use hand gel when you enter and leave, and also to wash your hands as soon as you get home. And there's a couple more guidelines and thoughts there as you come into the church. So as you come in, you'll see that most of the seats are sealed off, so we'll ask you please not to use them. The more seats we have open, the more that have to be cleaned every night, and the more risk there is of contamination from those seats. So we've put some markers on the floor. So we've designated 3 rows of seats that you can come in and sit or kneel in to pray. So they're marked by the floor, and then as you come in to the seat, we're asking you to keep your distance, so at least 6 foot or 2 metres distance. So in the rows that are open, you can sit here, you can sit here, and you can sit here. So please, as much as you can, keep your distance from each other in the church when you're at prayer. We've moved our candelabra over to the front of the altar, so you can obviously, as always, light a candle there. But I would ask you again, please don't try and get past it. All that area is sealed off. So again, there are 3 rows that are available to sit in. A row there, a row there, and a row here. And as I said before, you feel free to sit there. Please don't sit there, and feel free to sit there. And then as you leave the church again, we'd ask you to leave by the side door. There's a bin provided for wipes and tissues, etc., that you can dispose of before you leave. Throughout the whole church, we'd ask you not to touch any of the statues or images or the crucifix in any way, again, just in the interest of good hygiene. So again, we'll ask you to leave by the side door, to sanitize your hands on the way out, and then just a reminder to please close this door behind you, because this is now the exit door. And then just a reminder, please don't use the side door to enter the church. Just come in through the main door and leave by the side door. And through all this, stay safe and pray safe.
An excellent video, if I say so myself. I'll move on quickly now to my favourite subject, i.e. housing. Well, one of my favourite subjects, because I'm conscious of the fact we have our rosary at 7:40 tonight. It's our weekly rosary, and as I'm speaking here now, I believe Calvin, Stevie and Joy are setting up, preparing it, and fair play to them. They set up every week along with Gary and pack everything away after. So regarding the housing, I've been asked by, I've lost count, I do housing advice work. I've been doing it for over 25 years, and people are very interested obviously in new housing development here. The radius is built, it's almost completed, but obviously under the circumstances work had to be stopped, and it's starting gradually now. So what I'm saying, I've been asked about when they're going to be allocated and different things, and obviously, so not just by, there's people from within our own community, but other communities throughout Newry and beyond have been asking me about updates and that. So this is an ideal opportunity to do this. So as first of all, I want to say is the housing project, obviously being a housing advisor, pro social housing, because it's badly needed under the circumstances of so many people homeless and in dire need for proper affordable housing. There's going to be 52 units in this housing project. They'll consist of 23 3-bed, 12 2-bed, and 2 sets of apartments. 1 set of single apartments, 1 set of double room apartments. It's my understanding, but it can be changed, that the allocation of the 3 bedrooms will take place this August. But with my experience in housing, anything can happen. And I work very closely with Radius, and I was able to ask them for a contribution towards our community walk, and they give me a cheque for £500, which you can see now, which was earmarked for a summer scheme for young people within our community. But obviously, under the circumstances, that's put on hold. But I just want to assure people that money has been ring-fenced for the earliest possible date that we can do that. So again, thank you to Radius for that generous donation, and we'll be walking. I personally will be working in partnership, and our members of our committee per se will be working in partnership with them for the duration and after the scheme's completed, because the residents of that new scheme will be part of our neighbourhood, and that's most welcome. Can I just say my deepest sympathies to my cousins Philomena, Bernadette and Selena on the recent death of their mother, Alancha Woods. Obviously, Alancha was my aunt, and had many fond memories of her, particularly in my childhood when I used to visit her when she lived in what was then Queen Street, which is now Dormer Street, because my grandfather lived a few doors from her, and I think she lived next door to what was known as Bork's Shops then. I want to also give a bit of a shout out, and I know our stores are probably the same. Praise to Sainsbury's, because I go down there 3 times a week at least on average, and I'm very impressed with the staff. The way they treat you with respect, and you get a welcoming smile, and they're always there to help you. And I think, as we all say, people who work in these stores, where Sainsbury's, Tesco's, wherever it is, they're on the front line too, and they do an excellent work. A big shout out of congratulations to them. Before I finish, I forgot to mention someone who helped us before he returned to Australia in relation to helping us with the food parcels and other things, and that's Lee McKay. And I want to thank him. I want to give him a special mention. He was here for several months visiting his family. Before he left for Australia, he volunteered, and it shows you the real spirit that exists. You can be living in Dromalane or from Dromalane and live in Australia. You take Dromalane community spirit with you. That's basically me now for this week. But just to touch on the fact is that next week I'm hoping to have a short video of the bingo, as well as we're talking about interviewing or getting a video of 2 football legends. One of them is Joey Larkin, who played for Chelsea football. There's nothing he doesn't know about football. And the other person probably will be, it's yet to be confirmed, is Gary McKeown, who knows as much as most people knows about the legends from the Dromalane, or in particular reference to those who played for Parkview. So that's me, short and sweet this week, Damien.
Thanks a million, Jerry. Thanks a million.
Was that short?
Thanks a million, Jerry. Good roundup there. And yeah, so look forward to your bingo. So thanks a million to Jerry and Carla there for a brilliant roundup of what's happening in their community associations. Just before I go, I have to just mention, I didn't know this, forgot about it yesterday, a big happy birthday to Gary Hillen from Bestbrook. He would be known affectionately as the barber from Bestbrook, and he's better known as Gingo. So happy birthday yesterday, Gingo. We hope you had a good day. Well, we know you did. So that's it for today. We'll do this all again tomorrow evening. So thanks again for tuning in and listening to our community activists and our news bite here on a Thursday evening.